much closer are you getting to your standard?
That's a good question. I'm always striving to become better every day. So today and yesterday was definitely better days when it comes to keeping myself to the standard that I want to. New fresh gear out there, so it's a little bit stiffer than usual, but it's part of the gig.
What do you think of the new alternate jersey, the gear that you're wearing, very much in the color scheme of the new jerseys?
I think it will go pretty well with the gear that I ordered as well. So I'm looking forward to wearing it. It's always fun when you're celebrating things when it comes to an organizational standpoint. And me as a goalie always have a little bit more free hands of doing something fun with it. So I'm really looking forward to these games, and hopefully can make something good out of it and have like a little bit of a run together with the red jerseys.
Linus, can I ask about your initiative with the kids? And
Yeah, what do you want to know?
What that means to you?
It means the world to me. It's one of the things that later years have become a bigger and bigger part of my life. And when you get to meet all of these kids, all these families, and you have kids on your own, you have a family of your own, it strikes you harder than it does when you're single and you only have yourself to care about. And it's a good reminder, if not the greatest reminder, of how fortunate I am as a father of two healthy kids and how tough life can be and what's really important in this life. After winning, after losing, sometimes you might be in the dumpsters with yourself and your confidence is not really there. And then you have the opportunity to meet a person like Easton and his family, and you realize that I'm pretty well off. It's something in life is way bigger than just playing hockey. And every time when I meet these kids and truly see how brave and how get a little bit emotional talking about it, but seeing how strong they are, that really puts a perspective on everything in what life has to offer in my life and in everybody else's life, and how unfair certain people's hands are being dealt in, throughout the world.
I was looking at the pads online, and it must raise some emotions when you look at those pads with those kids' name on it, right? Because I saw on your website that each of those kids has a story.
Yeah, no, definitely. I haven't had the opportunity to meet all of these kids, but I've met a whole bunch of them. I've met so many different kids throughout the years in my career and during the off seasons and everything that we do. And it never gets easy. Like people, I'm gonna bring you into the real stuff right now. And whenever we as players go to the hospitals or we go do charity work, when it comes to meeting people, meeting families, meeting kids, you always see a bright smile on our faces. But there are times when I go back in my car and I just think about all the things that I'm fortunate about, everything that I'm happy about, and I usually cry a little bit. I weep a little tears here and there because it is so hard. But you want to be a positive influence to the kids and families that you meet that day, and so putting all your emphasis, all your hard work in bringing a smile to their faces. And once everything kind of settles and you go into your car or you go home and then you realize it strikes you like, oh my God, this just happened, this is that. And another thing that happened is that I met a family once where they didn't know for how long they're going to have their kid alive. Like they told us straight up that it might be hours, might be minutes, might be days, but the family really wants to meet you guys. And so, yes, we said, of course, we're going to do that. And we go into the room, and you can just sense death in it. And the devastation from the friends and family members, mom and dad, and you just try, you give them a hug, but you don't really know what to say. And you take pictures, whatever, you give them some gifts, and you go out there, And I remember how I had to shake off death, in a way. It was just this vial on top of me that I just felt so awful. And we go back, I meet my family, I come into practice next day, and they tell us that the kid died 3 hours later from when we went there. And yeah, it's not easy. It really isn't easy doing these sort of things. I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position where I can make people laugh and have a good time with my presence, and I never take it for granted, the hand that I've been dealt with.
You, is this a cause that you also raise money for in Sweden?
Yeah.
When you're back there in the summer? I thought that,
Yeah, the things that I do back home is together with a charity called Ayabaya Cancer.
Yeah.
And what we do is that we help people and families with their day-to-day life. When cancer enters your family and things puts on pause. And so most of the times if you have a mom and dad and your kid has cancer, then one of them can only work and one has to be a full-time nurse. And that's hard. 50% of your salaries is now gone, and trying to get your daily life together, buying groceries, mowing your lawn, all of these small things is what we try to help with. And there's so many different areas where it's different for everyone, and we usually help out with different areas, if it's talking to a psychologist or if it's just talking to people that have gone through the same thing. Maybe they have siblings and the siblings meet other siblings, and we try to fix or arrange meetings for them as well. And so that's the main focus that we have, is just to help them have a better life and a little bit of a easier day-to-day things going on in their lives.
this is a cause that's close to your heart, right?
Yes. No, it's grown to become the biggest thing that I work with. And it really, the light bulb really came on when I had Harry, and I met a chronically, a kid with a tumor in his head that can't be fixed or can't be surgered or operated out. And thank God, this guy is still alive. He's thriving. He's doing everything that he can to be a normal kid. But when I met him that day together with his parents, and they talked about all the hardships that they go through, it's also one of the things that if that happened 2 years prior when I didn't have kids, I probably just listen to it, feel like, oh, that's awful. But then at that point as well, I had to walk away. It was during a charity event. I called my wife and I cried and talking to her like, shit. There's nothing else that it was so goddamn hard at the time, and it still is. And that's why it's such a big thing for me in this moment, to try to do what I can to help kids survive or have them a little bit that better day, give them a little bit of positive reinforcements, and try to not think about the disease for that day or so.
Whose idea was the pads? And
that is together with Bauer.
It is.
Yeah, it is together with Bauer and Ayabaya that we came up with that idea. And I thought it was a great idea when it comes to how we created the pads, with the names and the kids and the children holding hands, together with some personal influences like I have on all my gear. So I'm really, really glad that came to fruit, so to speak.
Thank you.
Not to make you change topic here,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know your impressions since joining the team last year. What have been your impressions of Tim Stützle as a voice in the locker room for the Sens as a player?
Stu has impressed me ever since that I came to the first day. You can tell him together with the other core players that they've starting to find their way in this league. They're doing the right things over and over again. They're good people. It brings a lot of laughters and energy into the room, and keeping each other accountable when it comes to practice and other things. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy people that strives to become better each and every day. And so that gives me a little bit more fire in the belly to keep going and push through if things are a little bit tougher or harder.
How close do you think he is to being a superstar in this league?
No, he is a superstar in my eyes.
Why?
Definitely. The speed, the skill, his vision for the game, and what he does off the ice as well is professional. And I think that what he does is special. He has special skills and a special set of, how he utilizes his strengths, so to speak.
Compared to when you arrived here, do you feel a different energy from when you started camp last year compared to this year?
Well, last year in camp, I was struggling myself with having gear malfunctions here and there, so I was just busy worrying about what I can do and how I can go about things, and we try to worry more about what I can fix and do. So it's nicer from a personal standpoint now that I can kind of soak up a little bit more about the energy in the room, the players, the new guys, the young guys, and feeling like you're part of the team and not trying to become a part of the team, so to speak.
Ridley's camp maybe shortens now. What do you take from today's practice? More it seems like special teams work. What do you take from it?
Yeah, a lot of power play, PK, less taxing on the body for sure. But those details and systems are huge in the game. So that's what today was all about.
It's a bit of a lapse in between games now before Sunday against New Jersey. Maybe how do you maintain that game form over the coming days, even in practice?
Yeah, I've been told tomorrow's going to be a good skate, so that'll keep us in shape and get the legs going again. So looking forward to that. But and then I think a day off going forward there. So yeah.
What do you think of how Shane Pinto's looked in camp so far?
Great. He he's definitely done his job in the summer. I can tell. I think everybody can tell he's worked out and done his training well. So it's happy for all of us teammates. I'm looking forward to the year he's going to have.
What's it like having him as a line mate, not just on the ice, but as a personality off the ice?
Well, it's great. Obviously, we all know off the ice he's pretty outgoing and a fun guy to be around, so that's always good. But on the ice, to get to play with him, it's pretty special for me. He makes my job a lot easier.
What about, particularly, we've seen a lot of how much he's relied upon on his defensive side of the game. What are your impressions of what he can provide on the offensive side?
Yeah, good. Obviously, we know he's great on the PK and the D zone and everything like that. But his offensive, we saw last night a couple big goals there. So his offensive side of the game is as good as anybody. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think just systems and getting everything back from last season. I think a lot of stuff stayed the same, and it's just kind of getting back to same habits so you can do it without thinking as much.
Is it easier? Does it become easier on the ice running through drills with fewer numbers and knowing that the end is near?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, I think we have a lot of great players in this organization, and it was definitely a lot of fun seeing those younger guys coming in and taking another big strides throughout the summer. So it was fun, but it's getting closer, so it's going to be awesome.
To me, a bit of a gap in between games now before Sunday. Maybe how do you maintain your game form without finding game action over the next couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, we're practicing pretty game-like as well. Worked on special teams today. It was great, and today was kind of a little easier day maybe, and tomorrow's going to be hard again, so excited for that.
Speaking of the special teams, you worked on this. Is there something that you need to do, a major change this season compared to last season? Or what you did at the end of the season, you were already seeing that you were going on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always a different path. I mean, with Dylan Cousins coming in, a new guy, you gotta see what he's doing on the power play and see his routes. And I think it's a lot of his chemistry. I think most of the guys have been playing for a while now, so I think we can get better every year. And on the PK, I think just staying more aggressive and knowing our structure. I mean, we switched to a different style last year, so it's a little difficult, I think, at times. And now I think it's just getting used to it again.
I assume you're embracing the idea of more penalty kill time for yourself?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, every time you can get out there and help the team prevent a goal, it's awesome. And I just know how fired up I get when I'm on the bench, and the penalty kill's doing a great job. So I think we have a lot of good killers out there, a lot of good facer guys, and just for me coming in, trying to learn as much as I can.
What have been your impressions of Shane Pinto, and particularly with how important he's been defensively and on PK and important moments against some of the other team's best players?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew how good of a player he is. He's a great guy in the room as well. He's fun to be around, and yeah, he just takes strides every year. I watched the game yesterday. He obviously had a great game, and yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch. I think he gets better every year, getting better in face-offs, and he knows exactly what he has to do against those top guys and embraces that role really well. So yeah, he's going to have a great year for us.
What did you think of him on the power play?
Yeah, I think he can play anywhere. We have a lot of guys who can play anywhere throughout the lineup, and yeah, like I said, I think we have two really good power play units, and I'm pretty sure Pins can play power play.
Looking forward to a good bonding session in Quebec City.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's going to be awesome playing those two games, bringing some games to Quebec City. Hopefully, yeah, get a bigger fan base there as well. And yeah, it's going to be cool for us to get together as a team and yeah, just hang out together.
Is that your first time there?
No.
Coach, can you start with injury updates, Drake Patterson?
Yeah, he's going to be, I'd say, 2 weeks. That's what we're hoping.
The injury was
Pulled a muscle, upper body.
Lars Eller looks to be a tiny bit closer. Or?
Yeah, might join the group tomorrow, so that's a positive note.
Anything new on Tyler Clevin?
He's close. I expect him to skate tomorrow or the next day. He's close to skating.
Will Nick Jensen will play in Quebec?
Doubt it.
In terms of last night's game, what did you like out of Donovan Sabrango, and is that a reason why he was practicing with the main group again today?
Yeah, it's part of it for sure. He's had a good camp. He looks improved from last year. He's really worked hard in the off season. He's in great shape. He's grasping a lot of things that we're trying to teach and trying to apply them. So he's had a good camp so far.
Your injuries create opportunity, right? I mean, in the case of losing Batherson, it's for someone else to step up, sort of thing.
Yeah, it is, quite honestly. There'll be opportunity for whoever plays well.
Aside from the 2 goals last night, Champagne's line seemed to dominate, just shot-wise, possession-wise. How encouraging is it to see a guy who's probably going to be a third-line center to start having those kind of results against that level of competition?
Yeah, I don't necessarily look at it like, third, first, second, third. Like I think we're capable of having any line play well between 1 and 4 any night. And but I thought their line looked good. I thought Cuzzy's game rounded into form. Thought he looked a little rusty the first game. I thought Pintz and Amo looked sharp for a first game of the year. I thought their game looked sharp, and it's no coincidence that both of them have put a lot of work in as well.
Coach, with dwindling numbers, how does training camp change now? How do you shift your change?
What do you mean?
Well, what are you working on more specifics?
Well, today was special teams. You could see that. We had a special team practice today. A couple little details within our game changes, getting into different forechecks. So yeah, I mean, that's part of training camp, though. You start to work on, probably bigger parts of your game, 5-on-5 game early in camp, and you start to get into the fine tuning as camp goes on. But also, no coincidence as well that as the group gets smaller, that some of those finer details are you're working on.
Since you were talking about the PK, do you feel like with what you did at the end of the season, you need to revamp the whole thing or just tweak a few things?
No, I don't think we need to revamp the whole thing. I think we need to get better. I think we have to have more penalty killers to be more aggressive. People don't. If you want to be aggressive, you got to have guys that are fresh as well.
Just maybe like the skating ability of Dylan Cousins and Tim Stützle help you on PK just to be aggressive.
Yeah, hey, the league's a fast league. Skating, if you can't, skating's a priority in the game right now, and obviously to kill penalties, if you want to take away time and space, you got to be able to move. And yet there's also penalty killers that are very smart. And but you've perfect world, you have a combination of both.
How much aggression in your diamond formation on the PK are you looking from the player who's closest to the goalie in that formation?
I'm not going to get into specifics on how, you're asking me when do we attack a puck, when do we don't? What are you asking exactly? Yeah, that's part of the diamond. There's a time and place where you'd attack, and there's a time and place where it's the goalie's guy.
Like, for example, yesterday when Bobby McMahon scored that goal, and that was Montenpalo's guy, would you have wanted him to be more aggressive in that moment? Like,
Yeah, I'm not going to get into, again, the specifics, finer details. That's between us and the players, but I think it's a combination. Also, the guy made a good shot. Sometimes they're going to get a chance on the power play.
Linksell played upwards of 20 minutes last night. Are you encouraged by his game?
It's always a good sign when a player plays more, you know. And when we're coaching, I think you start the game thinking you're going to roll lines, which we did, but you're still trying to win. And you know, if you find that you're putting a player on the ice a few more minutes than other guys, that usually means that he's doing all right, and you trust him. But it's been a short while. He's still got to make the team, and but he's definitely in the mix. That's why he's still here in those spots.
Sticking with the mix, it seems like a number of the guys competing for that 13th spot, depth forward spot, they all have kind of different skill sets. Is that something that you like as a head coach?
Something that we'd what?
That you like as a head coach, there is that versatility you can pick like from a handful.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you want toughness. Sometimes you want a guy that can kill penalties or make a play. It also depends on who's on that line, the makeup of the other players, who you're playing, how your team's playing. There's a lot that goes into making a lineup, and I don't think we're there yet. We need to see who can play first and foremost and who can't, and it's very early still. We've played 2 preseason games, and we'll see where it ends up.
We know he scored on the power play, but what did you like about Shane Pinto playing on your man advantage unit?
Yeah, he was fine.
You're going to obviously still use players from both groups in games or whatever, but how do you assess, I guess, Carter Yakinchuk skating in that group, which is basically minor league or AHL players?
Sorry, back it up. I'm sorry.
You're going to probably use players from both groups in games going forward, so
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a cut today, but why was Carter, I guess, in that group?
We only wanted 8D. We need gents to get reps. He played last night. It was simple as that. We were working more on penalty kill than power play today. I figured someone would ask that, but it was nothing more, nothing less. I talked to Yak. He's fine. He'll be fine going forward.
Is that last season when Stützle had a lot of chances but couldn't capitalize on it? The way he scored yesterday, is it more of the kind of goal you want?
Who? Sorry. Yeah.
Like, you want him to rush more than that or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I just want him to rush more to the net. I thought he created a lot of chances last year. He's a young player that, I think he was good last year. I think he's still improving. Looks like he's, again, another guy that looks a little lighter, looks a little quicker this year. I don't think you just tell a player to rush the net more and you're going to score more. He's also got a good shot. I think goal scorers kind of figure out how to score, and they do it in different ways. But you got to get to the net to score, that's for sure.
What's the plan for Quebec City for your lineups? Will we see balanced lineup like through last game?
Yeah, we're not going to bring that many guys to Quebec, so we'll have a smaller group going. We're obviously not going to bring the whole squad there for the whole time we're there. We'll have a smaller group, and we've got a plan in place of who's going to play and what games.
We'll have roster cuts by then?
Yeah.
30 or so?
30 or so, maybe less, maybe a few more.
Not to go back to Shane, I know you said he was fine on the power play. Is there a path for him to get more power play time?
So back to Shane, but not to go back to him. Is there an opportunity for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. Like, Pence is a good player. We've got a lot of good players. There's something to be, but we also have to make sure that there's ice time for everyone. And Pence was capable probably of playing the power play last year too. But there's more than goes into just who's on the power play. Like, Pence plays a lot of minutes already. Plays valuable minutes. He kills penalties. also after the power play, usually the other team's first line hops over the boards, and that goes into our thinking as well and who we're playing. But you know, when we have ample amount of players that can play the power play. So where Pence ends up, I'm not sure. You know, we'll see when camp breaks, how the power play's doing. But he's a good player.